I worked at AFTV. I got Julian with me. We've just beaten Aston Villa 2-0 at Villa Park. The cheesy grin is back. We're back. We're back. We're all back. And a win on the return. First home game for Villa. First away game for us, and we won. What a performance today, Julian.
It was a brilliant performance. We all predicted that we would win the game. Every single one of us.
True.
You know, we had varying degrees of confidence. I think my degree of confidence was probably higher than anyone else's.
No, Lee's is up the top.
Yeah, but the difference with Lee was he just had a feeling, and I understood why I have these feelings.
Then you went back to 1-0.
Yeah, I went back to 1-0, and I'll come back to why I went back to 1-0. But the reasons that I had the feeling was twofold.
Go on.
Firstly, and I've said this before, I looked at Villa. Okay, Villa came fourth. They are a good Premier League
100%.
team. Good Premier League team. They're not one of the best Premier League teams. The performances recently of Villa haven't been that great. How they ended last season was poor. 1 win out of 10. Their pre-season hasn't been that great. You know, they lost to Columbus 4-1. They lost to the Americas 1-0. Now, I have to say, I'd never heard of any of those teams, either of those teams before. They had, they lost to other teams. They beat West Ham. West Ham, I can absolutely say, are not a world-beating team. They're not even a good Premier League team. They are an average Premier League team, which
They beat us last season.
They beat us last season, but this is this season. Anyone can beat anyone. That is the Premier League. But they weren't the greatest. So when you then compare that to what we have in our team, now let's just kind of look at actual facts here, not feelings, facts. Since the beginning of the year, January the 1st, this calendar year, we have won 18 out of 20 games.
I thought we lost what?
No.
Oh, one.
We have
Sorry,
won.
yeah,
We've won
lost
18.
one and
We've lost one. We have won 18.
Yeah, correct.
Now that has only ever been done, not in just Premier League history, but in the history of English football, that has only happened 3 times.
Are you sure? You seem to be you sure?
Yeah, I was just trying to recollect. 1982 Liverpool.
Okay.
2019 and 2021 Manchester City. So when you compare us with those teams, we are up with the greatest teams ever, not in Premier League history, but in English football history.
But Julian, it could have went either way today. I know what you're saying.
Yes.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But they're a good side, and this could have been a completely different result. I don't want to be negative because I'm great. You've done your research. You've got your numbers here. We are a great team. I don't want to take that away from Arsenal as well. But it was touch and go that Ollie missed. There was a chance that they had, so it could have went either way. To say you're this confident because of that,
Yeah, no, I'm confident. I was confident we were going to win the game, and I was going to confident when you look at the statistics, when you look on paper, we had, in my view, and this is again is an opinion, not an absolute fact, but it can probably be backed up by statistics and performance analysis, is that every single Arsenal player, in my view, apart from maybe Ollie Watkins and also that 27 Rodgers.
yeah, because you come down and said, "Who's that?"
Yeah, who's that? Like Rodgers, unbelievable. I'd love to see him in an Arsenal shirt. I'm pretty certain he's going to be in an England shirt soon. But let's just say the vast majority of the players on the pitch and the players that came on for Arsenal were better than those for Villa. I'll also say for this particular game that Arteta is a better manager than Emery.
For this particular game.
For this particular game, I tell you what,
The result says that.
But what I'll say Emery's really good at is taking an average team, a team that's not as great as the teams around it, and getting the most out of them. Because when you look at the history of how he's done things, and that's what he's doing with Villa. He came to Villa.
Did you do that with Arsenal?
No, that was the thing. We don't need that at Arsenal.
We're not an average team.
We're not an average team. We're a great team. We're a great team, and we need an unbelievable manager to take us up that level, to make us win things. So that's why I would say that everything was going our way. Everything, when you look at it, would indicate that Arsenal would win that game well and by more than 1 goal. Now, I can't, but I'll come back to the point that you made.
Go.
It was still close.
Yes.
It was still close, and it could have gone either way. It could have done.
Yeah.
But here's where the
facts.
Here's where the law of probability comes into play, because last season was exactly the same. We were the better team, but Villa won both games against the run of play, against all the statistics. So eventually, you have to kind of get to the stage where statistics, performance, and everything great about Arsenal will come to the fore, and it had to be today.
You said this earlier in the interview. You said I said about last season West Ham beating us, and you were like, that was last season, and now you're saying you're going back to last season's to the law of averages and all percent of the probability.
Yeah, exactly. You flick a coin so many times last season, this season, it comes up, heads so many times, it comes up tails sometimes. It evens itself out. Now the luck evened itself out because we got a little bit lucky today. We did get a bit lucky. You'd expect Watkins to put that goal away.
Let me ask you this then.
Go on.
With all this facts and stats and law of probability, so against Spurs away,
Yeah.
we're a better team, and I'm sure by fact we're a better team.
Yeah.
So we should win that game as well away at their place.
Yep, absolutely we should win that game. And that's why, before the season, when they said the first 5 games, I predicted that we would get 4 wins and 1 draw, because the team that I wouldn't be so confident, I'm not saying we're not as good as them, but the team that's also world class, up there with us, is Manchester City. So that's the game. If I had to predict a game for us to drop points in that first 5 games, I had to pick one, it's going to be Man City.
Okay, and finally, because we're gonna speak about, today's performance and players. There were so many standouts. Who was your standout?
I'd have to say Raya and Saliba. If you had to pick 2,
I said one.
Okay, I'd pick Raya because he didn't do anything wrong, and he saved us the game. But if you look at the management of it, I'd say Arteta. He got us the win, and I'd like.
So out of the 2 managers, you're going to pick Arteta today, of course.
No, of course I'm going to pick him, and I just love some of his quotes as well.
Oh, you got a quote for us? Go on.
Yeah, he said, we've got an incredible time to come, and we all should be very excited. And
I heard Josh Kroenke say something like that as well before.
Yeah, and I'm very excited, even in a car park in Birmingham. It's a beautiful place.
Thank you, Julian.
Was that 8 minutes?
We've got a very special guest in the house, Josh Richardson, NBA player who plays for the Miami Heat. Who would you be in the Arsenal team?
Ben White.
So you got that little nasty streak
Yeah,
to you as well.
I'm probably a better scorer than Ben White. Like, I like to shoot a lot of threes. Theo Walcott. This guy is a burner. And I'm like, yo. I was like, bro, Theo Walcott is sitting right behind us. And they're like, who is that? And I'm like, nah, you don't get it.
Worst record in the NBA last season?
Maybe like Portland Trail Blazers.
Portland, so that's Tottenham, right?
That was a setup.